In 1978, clinical psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes published a paper describing a phenomenon they had observed repeatedly in their high-achieving female clients. Despite objective evidence of success, these women were unable to internalize their accomplishments. They lived in persistent fear of being exposed as intellectual frauds, attributing their achievements to luck, charm, or timing rather than genuine competence. Clance and Imes named this the impostor phenomenon. Decades of subsequent research have expanded the finding dramatically. Contemporary estimates suggest approximately 70% of people experience impostor syndrome at some point in their lives, and it is not confined to any gender, profession, or level of achievement. The original Clance and Imes paper focused on high-achieving women in academia, but subsequent research has documented the phenomenon across virtually every domain. Studies have found particularly high rates among graduate students, physicians, software engineers, and first-generation college students navigating environments where they feel they do not belong by background or identity. Research by Kevin Coakley at the University of Texas found that minority students in predominantly white academic settings experienced a compounded form of imposter syndrome, combining the standard self-doubt with the added burden of wondering whether they were admitted to satisfy diversity goals rather than their own merit. One of the most counterintuitive findings in imposter syndrome research is that competence and confidence are often inversely correlated in genuinely intelligent people. This connects to the Dunning-Kruger effect. People with lower competence overestimate their abilities because they lack the metacognitive framework to recognize their limitations. Highly capable people, by contrast, understand the field well enough to know how much they do not know. They are acutely aware of the gaps between their current knowledge and genuine expertise. What feels like imposter syndrome is sometimes accurate self-assessment colliding with cultural expectations of competent performance. Pauline Clance developed a psychometric tool called the Clance IP scale to measure imposter phenomenon severity. The scale assesses beliefs across several dimensions: the fear that success cannot be replicated, the attribution of success to external factors, fear of evaluation, and the cyclical pattern of overwork followed by temporary relief when success is achieved followed by a return of doubt. This cycle is particularly destructive because it never allows for the accumulation of genuine confidence. Each success is attributed externally and discounted. Each new challenge feels as threatening as if there were no previous successes at all. The relationship between imposter syndrome and perfectionism is significant. Research by Breen Brown and others has documented that perfectionism and imposter feelings often coexist and reinforce each other. The perfectionist standard makes failure feel catastrophic, which amplifies the fear of exposure. Many high achievers with imposter syndrome report that they work harder and prepare more thoroughly than peers precisely because they believe others' genuine competence will eventually reveal their own fraudulence. The supreme irony is that imposter syndrome often produces the very excellence it fears is absent. The performance anxiety becomes its own competence generator. Interventions for imposter syndrome have moved beyond simple reassurance, which research shows is ineffective. Clance and Imes initially recommended cognitive reframing, examining the actual evidence for and against the fraud belief. More recent approaches include normalization, explicitly telling people that imposter feelings are near universal reduces shame significantly. Group settings where high achievers share their internal narratives are particularly powerful. Research also suggests that reframing success attribution is more effective than trying to eliminate self-doubt. The goal is not to feel entirely confident but to credit one's effort and skill as causal factors in outcomes, even while uncertainty about future performance remains.